So today I wanted to do a little arranging exercise and I thought I did a video about this. I decided I was going to write a quick arrangement of Misty, just the first two A's, and I did it for four tenors. The idea here is to really write intricate voices and do a lot of reharmonization, which then I would later explain on another video. But the fun thing about this is I thought I will show you the opposite of what you would normally see. Instead of putting the first voice, then the second, the third, and fourth, I'm going to show you first the last voice, the fourth. Then I'm going to show you the third voice and the fourth together. And then I'm going to show you voice two, three, and four together. And finally, you're going to hear the four voices with the melody. I'm doing this because you're going to see how the voices might actually sound a little weird when you hear just the fourth and the third. You're going to hear a lot of little dissonances and things like that. But even with the harmonic richness that this has, which is why you're going to hear like a lot of little dissonances going on until the last voice comes in, which is the top voice, then you're going to hear how everything makes sense instantly. It's really, really cool to do this. But focus and pay attention on the voices, okay? They're written meticulously in a horizontal way so that the voices move. Because then a lot of people, when they write like vertical things and they write solely or structures, vertical structures, they make the mistake of repeating too many notes, right? Like, oh, maybe the voice number three is just repeating the same note all the time, or just going down and repeating the note three times, like da 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 do da, just to sort of fit the harmony. Remember, this is not a piano, this is for saxophone. So you always want to find a way for each voice to have movement. If you can avoid repeating one note, you can repeat it here and there if the harmony really requires you to do, but I always prefer in my arranging experience to have the voices move. And it's something I learned back at Berkeley and it really stuck with me. Horizontal writing, even when you harmonize and when you do vertical structures, always think about the power of each line's movement. Even if you change one note here and there, it's just going to sound smoother and way more silky. And that's an amazing arranging technique. On another video, I will break down more techniques and I will start making more arranging videos. But I wanted to show you this quick arrangement of Misty. So here we go. We're going to start with the fourth voice and by itself. Okay, here we go. Great. Now you see it's kind of weird, right? When you hear it by itself. Um, there's a lot of movement. I'm not just sticking with one note. Sometimes I'm doubling what you're gonna hear later on the melody. Sometimes I'm repeating certain notes, right? But to respect the harmony, but I'm always trying to move it. Now let's hear voice three on top of that. Now you can hear a lot of dissonance here and there, right? Because those voices are really crunchy, sticking together. And still, voice three always has its own independent movement. Sometimes instead of just keeping a half note, just to have two quarters and maybe one little chromatic approach or something just to make the voices move. If you force yourself to make the voices move more, it will naturally spice up your arrangement and make it way more interesting. That's a great technique to just think about how can I create more movement in here. So now let's layer the second voice on top of that. So you're gonna hear voice two, three, and four now. Let's do it. cool. Now it's you start to get the feeling of it. Now, voice too, of course, I did, I applied some tensions and chromatic approaches just so that I could add more movement to it, which now when you hear the first and the top voice, which is the melody, pay attention because all the movement that I've created on the lower voices are really going to make the melody shine as well, right? Rather than just be static voices, right? So now we're going to hear the top voice. Now keep in mind there's a lot of reharmonization going on here. I really love this richness inside the sax soli, and I've applied many techniques I teach in my Master Arranger program. And I will break some of these techniques on other videos. But pay attention now, the four voices together, and it's fun. Look at how it all now makes sense once you hear the actual melody. Let's go. Cool, that was fun, right? It's really interesting when you hear the lower voices alone and just understand how the movement is. And it's something I learned a lot from myself because I write a lot of these sax solis and sax ensembles and I perform them myself. Actually, this was a pretty interesting video because I did it with four tenors. I usually do alto, tenor, bari, but I had my tenor with me and I actually purposely wanted to do it with the same saxophone so that you could see, I've shared transpose score there so that you can see the same transposition and it's easier to read in that sense. And also so that the timbre is pretty much the same, right? Almost like simulating a a vocal track. But yeah, it's pretty interesting how, now when the melody comes in, everything makes so much more sense. But to me, I learned a lot by writing my parts and playing them. So for example, if I discovered so many arranging things by simply writing for myself. And then when I'm recording, maybe I'm playing a tenor two part and I'm finding out it's too boring. Maybe I'm playing it, it's like, oh, I'm repeating too much of this note. I need more horizontal movement as a player. So it's really cool because as a player, I realized this line needs more movement. So then I decide to even change the note, even on the spot, just performing it. And then I realize, wow, that sounded so much better. So that filters to my arrangements. So now when I arrange, I'm always thinking if something looks too static, how can I add more movement? Of course, not everything needs movement. Sometimes it's really cool to have some pats going on, okay? But in general, just try to spice up your arrangement with more horizontal vibes, horizontal structures, right? Don't just pad everything out, especially in big band, in sax soli. It's gonna make it sound more boring and more static. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And please, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting more arranging videos as well, but also, like always, improvisation, saxophone, great music, and a lot of behind the scenes content. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. If you're an arranger or composer, what do you think about this? What is your process? I would love to listen to your process. I will make more videos about my process as well. And if you're interested in working one-on-one with me in arranging and composition, I left an email below where you can email me about the possibility of working with me. And I love to hear from you. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.